Welcome to a nutty adventure exploring personal growth and wellness, breaking down the stigma around mental health along the way. Let's dive in because now it's time to show me your nuts.
Good morning. And if you're not already happy this morning, that music should have made you at least kind of get up and dance. It is cold here in the Midwest. We finally got our first snow. Mother Nature, the free trial, yeah, I'm over it. I'm over it. I want to cancel my subscription, please. No. It's cold. I have to dance in the living room to get warm. What are you doing, my lady? What are you doing? I know everyone else is getting it or has gotten it too. I'm gonna peek in the comments and see where we're at. I see there's one person watching. There was one person watching. That's all right. It was Miss Sang this his hearing case saying happy Nutty Tuesday. Happy Nutty Tuesday to you, Miss Sangness. Hopefully you're staying warm as well and inside and not having to drive in this mess. And yeah, I realized it was probably you. So it's Tuesday again. And I think I was moving slower because of being cold. So forgive me as I get warmed up and figure out what we're talking about today, which is beliefs. It's December. We're ready to like a whole new year this thing. A whole new year. And I'm not even ready for it. I'm close. I'm closer than I was last week, but I'm not ready. So I believe, yes, I did that on purpose. I believe I will be ready by the 31st to kick into 26. Put a yes or no in the chat if you think you're going to be ready for 26 when it hits. You've got around 30 days, less than 30 days to be ready for the 26. And I believe I will definitely be ready. I've got a lot going on. I've got a lot of fun stuff going on. I cannot wait to bring some of it in here when we get here. So today, and I'm trying to get there we go. I was trying to be able to see my notes and see the comments at the same time. I'm trying to multi-view here. So today we want to understand our beliefs. We want to understand what beliefs mean. We're going to talk about defining what's belief and then explore their impact on our behavior, because it's Show Me Your Nuts and we're all about how things impact how we present ourselves in the world, what our behaviors are, and how those impact our mental wellness and impact mental wellness of others. How our beliefs are formed and changed, while we talk about how those beliefs then shaped our life. So first off, let's do an energy check. And so I don't actually even have my notes for this one today, but on a scale of 0 acorns to, let's do 0 acorns to 10 Santas. So on a scale of 0 acorns to 10 Santas, how's your energy about your belief system today? How's your energy about your belief system? 0 acorns to 10 Santas. And go. What is your energy from 0 acorns to 10 St. Nick's, 10 Santa Clauses? In relation to your believing about your belief system. Saying, is that 8 acorns, 8.5 acorns to 2.5 Santas? So you don't, your belief system's not a, because having Santas is like more, the more Santas you have, the more you believe, right? So you're working on your belief systems. Is that what I'm taking from that? I'm going to say that my 0 acorns to 10 Santas, I'm going to put myself at 7 Santas this morning, that I understand what my beliefs are and what my belief system is. So I'm going to put myself at 7 Santas. Oh, well, and then there's the how many is it of you believe in Santa? Well, I'm going to go with 13 Santas on that, because I totally believe in Santa. I know that on Christmas Eve, I will have gifts from Santa Claus. I absolutely know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Santa is bringing me stuff on Christmas Eve. And I know that other people might be getting stuff from Santa. So yeah, I'm believing that one. I'm believing that one. So let's talk about beliefs. Let's do a little deeper dive in that. I'm going to use the, I didn't do screenshots. That would have been fun. I'm looking at the definition of the word beliefs. Then we're going to look at the definition of the word opinions. And then we're going to go back to last month and look at the definition of values again, so that we can have somewhere to start this month of what are beliefs, what are opinions, and what are values, because they are 3 different things. Whether you want them to be 3 different things or not, or whether you use the words interchangeably, inaccurately or not. So to get us on the same page, beliefs is a noun, or belief is a noun. Beliefs is the plural version of the noun. And there are 2 definitions of that word that were offered up in the online dictionaries. One is an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. Now, it's the acceptance that a statement is true. It doesn't mean fact, and it doesn't mean that something is scientific truth. So let's get that out of the way right now. There's a difference between scientific fact, scientific truth, spiritual truth, and the acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. So it's your acceptance, your personal, individual, 8.2 billion people on the planet, personal acceptance that a statement is true or that the thing that you're talking about exists. So, for example, in a sentence, his belief in the value of hard work. And let's come back around to that one too. His belief in the value of hard work. So this is how I say values are the building blocks of beliefs. Definition number 2 of the word belief: trust, faith, and confidence in someone or something. So again, trust, not truth, but trust, faith, or confidence in a person, in someone, or in something. So, for example, in the sentence, I've still got belief in myself, or I believe in saying. Absolutely, who doesn't? I mean, if you don't believe in the saying, I don't know. You haven't met her. You haven't met her. That's all. If you don't believe, it's like believing in Santa Claus. You believe that Sang exists, and Sang exists with a tiara on her head, bringing joy and handwritten cards to the world. I believe in that because I have trust, faith, and confidence in Sang, and I accept that statement about Sang is true, and that she exists as a person. So I believe in you, girl. I believe. So the core of beliefs is acceptance that a statement is true or that it exists. Now, we haven't done internal representation in here per se. We weave it in everywhere. And internal representation is your internal views of what the world, the reality is. And 8.2 billion of them on the planet, and every single one of them is valid, which means what I believe in here is reality or exists is one of 8.2 billion that is valid. So let's go on and differentiate what opinions are. And let's get that definition out of the way, because beliefs are not opinions. And that's the name of the show today, not opinions. So opinion is a noun. The plural of opinion is opinions. And I'm thinking we all hold a bunch of them. The definition of the word is a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. So it's not based on fact being scientific fact or knowledge being collective facts brought together as a body of knowledge. Okay. And it's also not necessarily based on, it's based on my view or judgment that is formed about something. So, example, I'm writing to voice my opinion on an issue of great importance, because we all should do that, actually. We should have the freedom to voice our beliefs and our opinions as freedom of speech, freedom of discussion, freedom of interaction, freedom of discourse, providing we do no harm to others with that. And harm does happen in words. That's not today's show. It's a core value of the show and places that the Squirrel Wrangler lives, but it is not the topic of the show. So another place about opinions is, my opinion is that we all have the right to have valid internal representations that are different from each other, because there's no way that they can ever be the same. Now, that's my opinion. It's a view or a judgment formed about something. It is actually based on a body of knowledge, but it still can also be described as my opinion. I'm going to do values, and then I'm going to peek over because you guys will get me all kinds of distracted. The word values. So we're going to go into there so we have the definition. Value is a noun, the plural of which is values. And there are two definitions. One, the regard that something is held to this one's a tongue twister. The regard that something is held to deserve. The importance, worth, or usefulness of something. So the regard that something is held to deserve. So the value, the regard I place on something that I feel it is held to deserve. So the value I put on freedom of speech is the regard that I feel freedom of speech deserves to be held at. It's where do I place it in the hierarchy of things? The sentence, your support is of great value, because your support of this show is of immense value. The second definition of value, a person's principles or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life. So one person's judgment of what is important in life. So a value is a judgment call, and it's that person's principles or standards of behavior. So I hold integrity at a super high value. To me, that concept and the way I define it is I give that particular concept probably the highest regard. When I see it, when I do it, when I am it, I hold that concept in super high regard. It's important, it's worth it, and its usefulness to me. It's also it's also where I define or hold my principles or standards of behavior. It's my judgment of what is important in life, like of the top thing. The word values, so third person present of using values as a verb. We're going deeper in values. We should have really looked at this one last month, and I don't know if we went this deep in the definitions. Estimate of the monetary worth of something. So values in the estimated monetary worth as a verb is his estate was valued at $45,000, which sometimes that sounds like a lot, and sometimes it doesn't sound like quite enough, depending on the day. Consider someone or something to be important or beneficial, have a high opinion of. She had come to value her privacy and independence. So considering something or someone to be important or beneficial and have a high opinion of it. So value and values, just to go backwards through the definition, the word value, the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. Opinions, a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based in fact or knowledge. And belief, an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. I don't like the word true being in there because we really get convoluted when it comes to the word true. I think we believe that something is true when it's our view or judgment, or when it's something we value, when in fact, the word truth and facts are generally attributed to scientific truth and scientific facts, but we're not going to split those hairs at the moment. Values, regard that something is held to the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. Opinions, a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based in fact or knowledge. And the word of December, belief, and beliefs, an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. Second definition, trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. So beliefs are not opinions, and beliefs are not values, but beliefs can be valued. And beliefs can have opinions attached to them as well. So now that we got the definitions out of the way, and that one's, yeah. Let's look. Ha ha ha. Sang says, I adore you and believe in you too. personal nutty professor. Yes, I am. Maybe that's another word for me, nutty professor, but I'm going with Squirrel Wrangler still. Because I wrangle the ones in here and help people wrangle the ones they have. So how do we form and change our beliefs? So let's go back again to where we form everything. In this life, between the ages of 0 to 7, our unconscious mind is in control. It's taking everything in as a sponge. It's taking everything in as we go. And it takes in the values, beliefs, and opinions that we see around us. So the beliefs we see around us that others hold, where we see, say, our parents or someone may say, "Do you believe in Santa Claus?" Or say, you need to believe because Santa's gonna be here and bring you presents. And if you don't believe in Santa Claus, Santa can't bring you presents. Now, what that gives us is an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. So it would be an acceptance that Santa Claus exists. An acceptance, and I'm taking this one step further into the realm of spirituality and religion. It's our acceptance that, say, Christianity, our acceptance that Jesus exists, or that there is truth that Jesus is the Son of God, that the Bible, everything in the Bible, it is a belief that the statements in the Bible are true. So it's belief. It's our individual belief about that. Or our belief that we have an individual, unbreakable connection to source, creator, energy, which may or may not conflict with the belief about Christianity. So here's where we have the acceptance or statement that a statement is true or that something exists. One person has one and one person has another, both valid, potentially conflicting with each other, or if you look at things and you look at them deeper, they potentially can both be held as true in the same space, which is where we need to go as a world. And that comes down to respecting that my belief system that's built in here, my acceptance that a statement is true or something exists, is accepted as valid for me as much as I accept someone else's acceptance that a statement is true or that exists. If you say, "I believe in Santa Claus," and I'm like, "Yeah, not really." Both can be held as true at the same time. So we are taking those things in from our parents, from our grandparents, from the people around us, from the kids at the daycare, the kids that we grow up with. We everywhere we go and everything we do, we're soaking all that in. And we're soaking in what beliefs, differing beliefs people have, what differing opinions people have, what differing values people have, what things they say. We know that when we touch a hot stove, it's hot. We're learning concepts like that. We're programming our internal representation of the world. We're building what that representation of the world is. So internal representation is what inside your head, how you view the world, why you say, "Oh, this is hot, this is cold." How you figure out that's my mom, that's my dad, how you figure out I believe in Santa Claus. How do you figure out I value, I like it when someone does this. I don't like it when they do this. All of that is your, like, or your representation of the world. And every one of us has one. So, and they're all different because they can't be the same. There's no way, because my experience is different than yours. And everybody has a different experience, and so there's no way they can be the same. We can get really, really close, but we'll never, ever, 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 ever be exactly the same. We'll never touch. Learning about each other is this life's journey. Learning what everyone believes, why, and the backgrounds of it is the journey to understanding. The journey to understanding is where I understand what your belief system is. I understand how you created it. I understand why it's important to you. I may even agree with some of the things. I may disagree with some of the things, but I also respect that your way of believing an acceptance that a statement is true or that it exists is valid for you. It doesn't have to be valid for me to accept it and believe you that your belief, so you can believe in another person's belief without holding the same belief yourself. Let that one sink in for a minute. You can believe that another person's belief is true or that it exists without sharing the exact same belief. You don't have to share the same belief in order to believe that the other person's belief is valid for them. I think that is a core message, because somehow we are socialized to believe that we have to share the exact belief in order for us to believe, in order for us to get along. And we don't. I just have to believe that I just have to have an acceptance that your belief exists and that it is valid for you. I don't have to believe the exact same thing. And I think that's where things come down to how we could interact with each other as humans in a more, I'm going to say, holistic way, in a more accepting way, in a more loving way toward each other. Dare I say, in a way of more integrity. I can believe that your values are valid and important to you, that you hold something at a high regard, and maybe it's not at maybe you hold physical health, or maybe you hold the word exercise at a super high regard. Maybe that's your like most important value, or one of your most important values. And for me, it's like, down here. It's moving up, by the way. It's moving up. But your regard about exercise is much higher than mine. But that doesn't mean that I don't believe in good health, or that I don't believe that exercise is important to me. It just means that my regard for it, the importance or worth or usefulness, the importance of it is at a lower place because I believe other things supersede it. And I place a different regard on it. I believe that exercise exists and should be, and acceptance that exercise is important to physical health. I believe that statement. I don't hold the action of exercise at as high as other people might. So, and I don't, my opinion of the person who holds that higher might be that I judge them that they are a health fanatic. They may or may not be a health fanatic. That's a judgment. So that's an opinion I have about the thing. It gets murky. And here we go. Here comes Jessica, because she's been in a client call, because I suspect Jessica believes in her. Well, I have a feeling I know this, that she believes in hard work and values. I know values hard work, values that others have hard work. And she has amazing beliefs and values. I'm just going to say that. I'll call it that. So when we look at our value or our beliefs and how they're formed early in life. And I think we don't talk about the differentiation between values, beliefs, and opinions in overall society. And things have got, the waters have gotten murky in what a value is, what a belief is, and what an opinion is. And that is what has actually caused more misunderstanding than the actual values people have, the regard they place on something, beliefs they have, the believing that existence is, here I got to look back at the exact thing, that my acceptance that a statement is true or that it exists. So the regard I place on exercise, the statement that exercise exists, and then my opinion about exercise. My opinion about it is I don't like it. It's my judgment formed about it. It's that my opinion is that it's hard and that it hurts and that I don't like it. I do, however, believe that exercise is important to health. And I do value it, but I don't have to like it. And my opinion is that I don't like it. So our we're forming these beliefs and stuff at a young age. And then later, like the next stage of life as teenagers to young adults, we start examining our values, our beliefs, our opinions, our way of being in the world, and we start differentiating them from what we were originally programmed with our parents and such. Because what happens is our conscious mind comes online and we start learning, we learn lots of academia, scientific fact. Mathematical scientific fact example is 2 + 2. Now your brain, when I said that, put in the chat what your brain did when I said 2 + 2. Let's just start there. When I say 2 + 2, what does your brain do? I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to see if anybody's really still here. I say 2 + 2. What does your brain say? I'm going to give you another couple seconds and then I'm going to finish what I mean by that. I say 2 + 2, your brain automatically says 4. And it's interesting because I didn't say, hey, audience, what does 2 + 2 equal? What is the answer to the equation 2 + 2? Your brain just automatically said 4. And we're conditioned to respond to the phrase 2 + 2 with the response 4, even if that's not what the question was. If I say the word hot, you're likely to say the word cold. And if we go on with this, if I say rough, you might say smooth. I say black, you may say white. So we're programmed in those ages 7 to 14ish with these academic responses, how to spell the word there, and theirs, to differentiate those spellings, to understand definitions of words. When we're in that age range, we're doing things like multiplication tables, addition, multiplication tables, spelling tests, learning what maps are, learning where things are globally, learning history, lots of different information. We're learning different chunks of information to put in our brain. And then our conscious mind is overriding that unconscious mind. We start putting our beliefs, our values, and our opinions to different tests when we are learning that academic information, that conscious mind, how to learn. Even we learn how to learn. Then we learn that if you don't know something, you go to the library, you look it in the card cat. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's how I learned it. If you don't know something, you Google. No, wait a minute. That's how the last generation learned it. If you want to learn something, you go to ChatGPT. That's it now. That's the new one. I say that all dramatically just to say that if you know how to go to a card catalog in a library, you know how to use Google and you know how to use ChatGPT even better. So if you don't know what a card catalog is, you guys, go use ChatGPT and ask it to train you about what a card catalog is, how to use it. That way, just in case. I'm kidding. I am, those of you who know me know I am a techno lover. I absolutely love tech stuff. And by that, I mean all the tools we've had from fire up until today. Every tool, because it has catapulted the human race to its future. We learn about tools. We learn how to do things. Those things all impact our beliefs, because we might form a belief then of Google is the best thing since sliced bread. Well, that's a belief, an individual belief. Other people may believe that Google is evil. I may believe that ChatGPT is one of the best brainstorming partners I've ever had and can solve lots of things because it brings me the huge data set of language and words and puts it into a state where I can interact with all of the language and words that it's been programmed with, which this thing can hold that much. But the retrieval mechanism's not always as good without prompting. So I can believe that it's the best thing since sliced bread for whatever reason, and somebody else can believe it's evil and going to kill mankind. And both of those beliefs are true. Both of those beliefs are valid. So we build our beliefs based on that unconscious mind, things we soaked in from everyone else. Then the next stage, we start soaking in academic and other cognitive, conscious cognitive information. And then as a teenager and a young adult, we start differentiating ourselves from our parents and the things we grew up with. We start creating and developing our own thoughts, our own feelings, our own values, our own beliefs, our own ways of viewing the world, our own opinions. We get really good on opinions when we're teenagers. And then after we've kind of lived through those things, we get to about 30 and we really start hitting another phase of that. Although sometimes our values and opinions and beliefs and things lock in, even if they should maybe still be a little malleable and flexible. Sometimes they lock in so hard and get so rigid that we don't allow ourselves to explore other potential values, other potential beliefs, other potential opinions. And that's when we start butting heads. Not that we didn't butt heads as teenagers, by the way, or as 2-year-olds, but all three of those phases for different reasons and different ways. of butting heads. After you get through that young adult phase, you're in the, what I'll describe it, I guess, as the adult conscious phase. And that's where, some people may get to that part and they figure out what is important to them, what things they believe in, and what judgments they have about those things. And they lock in and they stay there the rest of their life. Rigid, don't move, don't change, don't want to change, go up against everybody, because they're not willing to look at it differently. Many people, though, you can have discourse, have discussions, and then shift and see things maybe from a slightly different angle of what someone else is coming at, and then shift again and then subtly change our beliefs, our values, and our opinions as we get older. One of my personal beliefs is that true wisdom comes from the ability to look at someone else's values, beliefs, and opinions, and one, see them as valid, but also two, examine them and see, how they fit in the world. And if it fits better, or if it's likely to enhance what my values, beliefs, and opinions are. Interaction with other people, to me, interaction with knowledge, interaction with things in the Googles, the GPTs, and the card catalog enhances my learning, but so does interaction and discussion and listening to other people's values, beliefs, and opinions enhances mine. And that if I don't do that, I'm stuck. So that's a value I have, it's a belief I have, and it's an opinion. Kind of all together, or I can put it together in, I believe that wisdom exists. I hold wisdom in high regard. And my view or judgment about wisdom is that it is important. So my view is that it's my view on how it's created is not necessarily based on a scientific fact. It's based on my own lived experience, which, funny enough, actually kind of is wisdom as well. I hope we haven't gone in too many circles today, but also discussed kind of how we form our opinion, our beliefs, and what the differentiation is of a belief is from a value or an opinion. I've appreciated those who've been able to be in the audience today. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know what do the energy check. 0 acorns to 10 Santa Clauses, 10 Saint Nics. How comfortable do you feel with the strength of your belief system or belief systems? And share some stories about personal beliefs in the chat and in the comments. I will come back here and peek at that. Next week, we're going to dive deeper into beliefs, and we're going to look at, one moment, please, we're going to look at the invisible decisions that are connected with our beliefs. So keep your beliefs going. Your belief in, if you don't believe in Santa Claus, are you going to get gifts? Or I know that that Santa Claus is connected to Christian holidays and Christmas, and not necessarily to other holidays that get gifts. So to all of my peoples all over the world, whatever holiday you might winter holiday you might celebrate, I hope your beliefs are strong, your values are stronger, and your opinions are held softly, so that your opinions and beliefs are held softly so that you can morph and change. And Chemical Soup TV, thank you for showing up. Yeah, we've the show's been going for a little bit, but the replay will be on for sure. We're talking about beliefs today. We're kicking off December, and December being belief month, and there's lots of good stuff. So I would love, love, love it if you were able to come back and watch the beginnings of the show and leave me some comments. Tag me if you can, and I'll come over there and have a chat with you on the Twitches. I'm loving the fact that you are bringing me the Twitch stuff, so I appreciate that so much. I actually went over to Twitch and did some changes in my profile and stuff because you came to the show last week. So you're my Twitch. You're my one Twitch so far. Next week we're going to dive deeper into beliefs and talk about the invisible decisions that we make with our beliefs and how those impact us, how those impact our life. So I think I'm actually going to call it a day because I believe I have gone through all of the information. And maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But please remember to like, share, and subscribe to Show Me Your Nuts and to the Breakthrough Show Network. Oh, I would so be remiss if I did not, and I don't have a QR code for it, but the Breakthrough Show Network annual awards are this Friday. I'm going to go find the link to that because you have to come to the awards. I'm going to go find the link and put it in here because you guys, you need to be at the Breakthrough Show Network annual awards. Why is it not on that calendar? There it is. Yay. It's Friday at noon Central. And I'm going to copy the link and put it in the chat. I'm also going to put it on a banner. The Show Me Your Nuts is due to, it's actually potentially going to be on, well, not just potentially, it is going to, we're up for an award or so. So I'll give you a second to look at that one, luma.com. And it's got some little things. Take a screenshot, type that bad boy in, and come to the Breakthrough Show Network Awards this Friday. There's going to be it's going to be lots of fun. It's going to be in a fun space, and we're going to see who wins all of the awards for the year 2025. Can you believe? Less than 30, we got 30 days, and it's going to be 2026. It's going to be a whole new year, blank slate, ready to go. Are you ready for 26? I'm like almost. I for business planning. I almost have all my business planning ready to go. I just did kind of clean my computer area today and organize things so that I can, have this clean slate ready to go for next year. And every year I get better at that. You got to have a process, especially if you're in business for yourself. You've got to have a process for getting ready for that next year. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. Show Me Your Nuts. And remember to like, share, and subscribe the Breakthrough Show Network if you're watching there. You can go to showmeyournuts.online, and that will show you the Breakthrough Show Network's YouTube channel. Like us up, subscribe us up. There are lots of great shows. So if you go to showmeyournuts.online, that will get you to the place where you can subscribe to the Breakthrough Show Network's YouTube channel. So that'll get you directed right there. And you can find more shows like Spirit Sessions, Project Joy, the Breakthrough Show, Beyond 2D, which is sometimes Beyond 3D. And I think we've got some new shows coming in 26, I heard rumor of. So have a great rest of your day, rest of your week. Come to the awards ceremony Friday, and I will see you next week to Show Me Your Nuts. See you then.
Thank you for joining us on this nutty adventure. Remember, personal growth and wellness are journeys best taken together. Keep exploring, keep growing, and don't forget to show me your nuts next time.